Hey loves, welcome back. My name is Ella, and I'm so happy you're here. If you're new, it's a pleasure to have you, and if you're already subscribed, welcome back. Before we jump into tonight's reading, just a quick reminder, if you're interested in booking a personal reading with me or joining our Patreon community, you can find all the details in the description box below. Tonight's reading is a no-contact message from your person. We'll be diving into their emotions, how they currently see your connection, and the most important messages they have for you about their mental and emotional state. I'll be pulling from this deck, so let's get started. Right away, I'm picking up on strong masculine energy. Someone feeling restless, almost like they have something urgent to say but can't get the words out. There seems to be an energetic block between you, creating tension. Your person has tried to push these feelings down, but it's not working anymore. Their soul is urging them to face the truth, and it's making them feel vulnerable and conflicted. They're deeply concerned about how you feel, likely because of their past actions or the way they've communicated with you. There's a lot of repressed emotion and mixed signals here. Some of you may have confronted them directly, but their response was unclear, almost like their words said one thing while their energy told a completely different story. This disconnect has created a lot of confusion, and right now, their energy feels closed off, as if they're struggling to be fully open with you. It's something that keeps them up at night, torn between what their heart wants and what their mind is telling them to do. Their avoidance isn't what it seems. It feels like they're holding back something deeply personal, something they never thought they'd have to share, or maybe even intentionally kept hidden. They might have thought they were doing a good job concealing it, but as the divine feminine, you've sensed it all along. You've likely felt that something wasn't adding up, that this was something they should have told you on their own instead of you having to figure it out. This truth is closely tied to their personal journey and your connection. It's affecting the way they communicate and show up in this relationship. Right now, their thoughts are consumed by you and the weight of what they need to reveal. Their energy feels restricted, like they're holding back, which could explain any emotional distance or tension you've been feeling. Stay with me as we keep uncovering their messages. I'll pull more cards and see where this energy leads. It feels like you've been searching for answers, asking questions, but underneath it all, there's frustration or even resentment. Deep down, you might feel like this isn't something you should have to ask about. It's something they should just come forward and say. The masculine energy coming through seems stoic, like they're unaffected, but this weighs on them heavily, especially at night. During the day, they stay busy, constantly distracting themselves, but when they're alone, there's no escape. Their soul is pushing them to finally confront something important. If you've been wondering what they feel while you're apart, know that they're overwhelmed with thoughts of you, especially with the need to share this personal truth. Moving forward, there's a strong sense of regret. They know they owe you an apology. When they first met you, they didn't fully understand what they were stepping into or how to handle your energy. In the process, they may have mishandled you or this connection, leaving you confused, especially if their actions felt sudden or unexplainable. They now fully recognize their mistakes. The weight of their actions and how they affected you has finally sunk in. and regret is consuming them. At the time, they weren't thinking about the impact of their behavior, but now they can't escape it. Their conscience won't let them rest until they make things right. For those who have been separated from this person, you may still be wondering why everything unfolded the way it did. It felt like things were going well. There was a strong mutual connection. The energy between you two was aligned. And then, suddenly, something shifted. They pulled away, perhaps without explanation, leaving you confused and searching for answers. It's not just the fact that they distanced themselves, it's the way they handled it. You value honesty and openness, so if they had simply told you they needed space, you would have understood. Instead, they made a choice that left you feeling overlooked. Whether they ghosted, ran away, or slowly withdrew, it likely made you feel unacknowledged. This situation could have ended naturally, yet something about it still feels incomplete, like you never got the full story. That's significant because right now, they have a deep urge to explain themselves. Their soul won't let them rest until they do. If you're wondering how they feel about you, know that this weighs heavily on them. It's affecting them in ways they can't ignore, even disrupting their sleep. During the day, they keep busy, but when night falls, they're left tossing and turning, unable to stop thinking about you. There was a time when they dreamed about you, but now those dreams have turned into restless nights. This hasn't been easy for you either. You tried to let it go, to move on, but it left a lasting mark. Lately, though, you've begun to acknowledge your emotions and heal, whether through reflection, talking about it, or simply clearing your energy. And that shift, they're feeling it. It seems like they too want to clear the air. What stands out is that this person intentionally sought you out. The moment they met you, they knew they wanted you. That might explain why their emotions are so intense and why they feel an overwhelming need to apologize. Even before getting to know you deeply, they were already drawn to you. There was an undeniable physical attraction, but beyond that, your energy captivated them. That connection hasn't faded. There's something rare and magnetic about you, something that pulled them in from the start. They may have even gone out of their way to be near you, drawn in by your presence. That's the power of divine feminine energy. It naturally attracts. This connection may have started with passion and intensity, but at some point, something unsettled them. And that feeling is directly tied to how they treated you. They pursued you with intention, yet their actions didn't reflect the care you deserved. Now they're replaying those moments in their mind, feeling embarrassed and frustrated with themselves. They regret the distance they created, whether through their words or actions. It's clear they want to make things right. They may have already considered reaching out, or they soon will, because the thought of apologizing is consuming them. They believe you deserve far more than what they've given you so far. The regret runs deep, especially regarding how the no contact situation played out. It may have felt like they didn't care, but the truth is, they care more than they let on, possibly more than you realize. They wish you could truly understand the depth of their feelings, even if they haven't been able to express them. Another important realization is that you never saw the full picture of who they really are. Deep down, you may have sensed something was off, like their energy didn't fully match what they were presenting. There seemed to be two sides to them, And if you could see how they're living now, it might feel like they're a completely different person. In a way, it's like they've been living a double life. One thing that stands out is the strong spiritual connection between you. You, as the divine feminine, are deeply spiritual, and they approached you differently than they would with others. When they first met you, they didn't expect to feel this way. They assumed they could navigate this connection the same way they had in past relationships. But your energy is unique. You live by a different set of spiritual values, something they weren't prepared for. They likely kept parts of themselves hidden, not out of deception, but because they never expected to become so attached. They didn't realize how much your depth would affect them. You operate on a different level, one they weren't ready for. At first, they may have presented themselves in a way they thought would appeal to you, but as they got to know you, they saw how intentional you are in the way you live your life. Your beauty may have caught their attention, but it's your energy, your presence, and your depth that truly captivated them. People are drawn to you, not just because of how you look, but because of the way you carry yourself. You don't operate on a surface level. You lead with your heart. They've always been protective of their energy, but when people get close, their layers begin to unravel. In their case, they may have realized they weren't showing you their true self. They tried to match your energy, but once the conversations got deeper, they knew they had been holding back. I sense fast, exciting conversations between you two, ones where they tried to keep up, but underneath it all, they felt like you never truly saw who they really were. They may still be tied to certain lower energies or situations they fear you wouldn't accept if you knew the full story. Deep down, they worry that if you had known everything from the beginning, you might not have even given them a chance. But through you, they caught a glimpse of something different, a higher, more elevated way of being. They wanted to rise to your level, to match your energy, but sustaining it proved difficult. Right now, they're caught between two worlds. Late at night, they find themselves awake, regretting that they weren't completely honest with you. They know they should have given you the choice to decide how to move forward, rather than keeping parts of themselves hidden. You probably sensed it too, moments when their energy felt off, when something just didn't add up. Sometimes they were fully aligned with you, and other times they pulled away, leaving you uncertain. They're in a vulnerable space now, confronting truths they've been avoiding. Maybe they feel embarrassed about how they presented themselves, especially now that they see you for who you truly are. Not just anyone, but someone with a rare and divine energy. They may not have realized your depth before, but now they do, and they're questioning how they can hold on to this connection. When you met, they weren't fully aligned with you. They were either in the process of healing or trying to reach your level, but the struggle to maintain that energy has been their biggest challenge. They want this connection, but they don't know how to keep it. The next thing they wish they could say is, "Please don't judge me." Right now, they feel exposed, maybe even ashamed, and they fear that you might see them differently because of their past. But this fear of judgment isn't really about you. It's about how they see themselves. They're projecting their own insecurities onto you and the connection. something may have recently created distance between you, whether a misunderstanding or an argument, and now they're stepping forward in a vulnerable state, hoping you'll understand. They fear being judged for where they are on their journey, especially by the divine masculine. The divine feminine energy I'm picking up on feels very clear about their path and purpose, even outside of this connection. You take the energy you allow into your life seriously, and you expect those in your space to be on the same wavelength. You've set firm boundaries, and you're not compromising. As for the masculine, they don't want to be judged for where they are, but deep down, they know they played a major role in how things unfolded. They're already judging themselves, and when they say, "Don't judge me," it's more about their own self-criticism than anything you've actually done. It also feels like you weren't given a fair chance to decide how you wanted to engage with them. They never fully let you in, never allowed you the choice of whether this was something you were willing to handle. And maybe, from your perspective, what they see as a huge deal isn't even that significant, but they never gave you the chance to decide that for yourself. Now, they feel exposed and just hope you won't look down on them for where they are in their journey. This brings them to their next realization. They see you as rare, and this isn't an exaggeration. It's exactly how they feel. I keep hearing, "You changed my life." When you met, there was an instant attraction. Even if there were other feminine energies around, they only had eyes for you. At first, it was a strong physical pull, but as they got to know you, they realized you were different. They may have assumed they could approach you the same way they always had with others, but you're a divine feminine. You move on an entirely different level. The moment they started engaging with you, they knew they had to step up. The problem was, they weren't fully ready. There were still unhealed parts of them, wounds they hadn't yet evolved from. But instead of being honest about that, they pushed those things aside and presented a more polished version of themselves. Even though they weren't truly prepared, they knew your energy was rare, so rare that they doubted they'd ever find another connection like this. But the way you live your life may have naturally created distance between you. The divine masculine often comes off as detached, as if they don't care, but they do. They just don't always know how to express it. There's a mix of embarrassment and insecurity because, in their eyes, you're out of their league. They wanted to do whatever they could to keep you close, but deep down, they always feared they weren't quite ready for someone like you. In trying to hold on to you, they weren't fully honest. They didn't give you the chance to decide for yourself if this was something you were willing to navigate. Instead of being upfront, they focused on not losing you in the moment, on preserving their connection to you until now. If there's been distance between you, or if communication has faded, it's clear there was once a strong connection between you two. But when things started to get serious, when they realized they had to step up to match your energy, it became overwhelming for them. Instead of admitting that, they pulled away. Right now, though, they can't ignore it anymore. Something deep inside is pushing them to make things right. This bond runs deep on both sides, and it seems like this situation has affected you both more than you've let on. Maybe you've avoided talking about it or tried to downplay its impact, but emotionally, it's left a mark. Divine feminine, if you're energetically connected to them, you might be sensing their restlessness. They're struggling with sleepless nights, weighed down by the guilt of not being honest with you. When they first met you, they felt inspired to step into their higher self, believing they were ready for the kind of connection you bring. But as time passed, their unhealed wounds resurfaced, creating distance and causing things to unravel. Now they're in deep reflection, unsure how to fix things. They want to reach out to explain why they pulled away, but fear of judgment is holding them back. They see you as someone rare, someone they don't want to lose. Even if they interact with other feminine energies in their daily life, none of them compare to you. You're irreplaceable, and that realization is hitting them hard. They may have already reached out or will soon. When they do, expect their energy to feel emotional, cautious, or even a little impulsive. They're nervous about how you'll respond, afraid of rejection or misunderstanding. The truth is, they never saw you coming. Before you entered their life, they were on a completely different path, one that didn't require them to grow or evolve. Meeting you changed everything. They tried to rise to the occasion, to become their best self, but eventually, their struggles resurfaced, and you saw sides of them that didn't align with the person you first connected with. That left you questioning everything. From the start, the physical chemistry was undeniable, and your conversations were intense, but they weren't truly ready for you. Now, their soul is urging them to face the truth, to be honest about their feelings and the reasons behind their distance. These emotions run deeper than you might realize, affecting every aspect of their life. They won't find peace until they deal with this. So don't be surprised if you hear from them soon. Their approach might feel sudden, but know that whatever they say, they truly want you to listen. They're anxious, afraid of how you'll react, and worried about being judged. That's the message I have for you tonight. If this resonates, don't forget to like the video before you go. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.